Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Lecture number 33. This lecture is dedicated to traditional printing with natural dyings, that technique, and having understood about the natural dyeing, let us also look at how the traditional printing with natural dyeing was done or is being done. Use of natural dyes in traditional printing. Traditional printing techniques have a rich history of employing natural dyes sourced from plants, minerals and even insects. These dyes derived from natural sources offer a wide array of colors and have been used for centuries in various cultures around the world. Both in India and at various places in world, people have used natural dyes for printing. Traditional printing with natural dyes involves the extraction and preparation of dyes from natural sources, mordanting to improve the color fastness, and application using techniques like block or screen printing. Fixation to ensure the dyes adhere to the fabric, and finishing processes. This ancient craft continues to be valued for its beauty, sustainability and connection to the cultural heritage. Different traditional printing methods. After having learnt about natural dyeing in so much of detail, let us now divert our attention to printing methods, particularly traditional printing methods, and there have been different traditional printing methods which we will focus in this lecture. First one is block printing. Block printing is the process of printing patterns by means of engraved wooden blocks. It is the earliest, simplest and slowest of all methods of textile printing. Block printing by hand is a slow process. It is, however, capable of yielding highly artistic results, some of which are unobtainable by any other method. So, it is although very old, but yet it is very unique. Resist or dabu printing. Now, this resist printing means some portion is covered with either wax or mud and the rest of it is dyed. So, then the portion which is being covered remains white. Batik printing. Here it is particularly that the fabric is coated with wax, beeswax, and the portions which have to be dyed are left open. Afterwards, when this is re-dyed in another dye, the wax is removed, and in the wax there are, when it is crushed, there are cracks which come, and that gives a different pattern altogether. And then there is the screen printing, which is a square or a rectangular screen, and through the pores of the screen the color actually goes on to the fabric as print. These are some of the examples of block printing. First, a design is carved on the block, and then very intricate designs are produced, as you can see on the right hand side. And then it has a handle through which the printer then holds the block and dips into the dye solution, which is not as dilute as what we use in dyeing, but it is rather a dye paste with mordant and other auxiliaries. And then it is, very slowly, carefully it is printed on the fabric, as it is shown in the left hand corner, down corner, and right hand side, up corner. Traditional printing with natural dyes. Traditional printing with natural dyes involves using plant based or other natural substances to create pigments for printing on various materials like fabric or paper. This method of printing has been practiced for centuries in different cultures around the world. Here is an overview of the process. Selecting natural dyes. Natural dyes can be obtained from a variety of sources, and this we have spoken repeatedly. We can use plants, flowers, roots, insects and mineral. Each source produces a unique color palette. Common natural dye sources include indigo, madder root, cochineal insect, turmeric, onion skin and various types of flowers and tree barks. How do we prepare the dye? It is not the same as what we prepare for dyeing. So, preparation of dye for printing is slightly different from the preparation of dye bath for dyeing. Once the natural dye material is selected, it needs to be processed to extract the color. The extraction process remains the same. This often involves boiling the dye material in water or soaking it for an extended period to release the pigment. So, if it is first boiled and that material is allowed to soak, sometimes modern substances that help to fix the dye to the fabric such as alum or iron may be used to enhance the color fastness and brightness. Stepwise process for traditional printing. Creating printing blocks or screen. Traditional printing blocks or screens are carved or constructed to create the desired pattern. And you saw in the 2 slides before how beautiful, intricately the designs were made. These can be made from wood, linoleum or other material. The design is carved or etched into the block, leaving raised areas that will transfer the dye onto the fabric or paper wherever we want to print. Printing process. The printing process typically involves applying the natural dye onto the printing block or screen and then pressing it onto the fabric or paper. This can be done by hand using a variety of techniques such as block printing, screen printing or stencil printing. Careful attention is paid to ensure even coverage and crisp detail in the printed design, and it is so precise and so beautiful and so articulately designed that it, if done slowly, will not show any smudging of colors. Fixing the dye. After printing, the fabric or paper may need to be treated to fix the dye and make it permanent. This often involves heat setting the printed material by ironing or steaming. Some natural dyes may require additional steps or mordants to ensure color fastness. So, it is a simple process, just like the dyeing process was a simple process. Even this is a relatively simpler process even than dyeing. All one has to do is to extract the color from the natural source, and that is done by soaking the material overnight and then next morning boiling it. Once the extract is filtered and is procured, then the mordant can be added and a kind of a thick paste can be made. The consistency of the paste made should not be very thick or very dilute. Hence, it is easy to dip the block into that pad which contains the this dye paste, and then transfer that block to the fabric very carefully, so that the design is transferred onto the paper or fabric carefully. So, sometimes only dye fixing is done using mordants. Mostly it is used by, for fixing the color by either ironing or steaming. Printing is a labor intensive process. Washing and finishing. Once the dye is fixed, the printed material is usually washed to remove any excess dye and improve the feel of the fabric or paper. Depending on the desired final product, additional finishing steps such as ironing or pressing may be done to enhance the appearance and durability of the print. Overall, traditional printing with natural dyes is a labor intensive but rewarding process that produces beautiful, environmentally friendly results with a unique character and depth of color. It is sustainable, and it is a sustainable alternative to modern synthetic dyeing methods and printing, and often carries cultural significance as well. Now, time and again I am emphasizing on the cultural part. Well, each of the communities which are engaged in traditional printing have a style of their own, and it is this style which needs to be propagated and continued. Like the Ajrak of Rajasthan, the Dabu of Rajasthan, these are some of the very unique printing, or the Sanganer print of Rajasthan. These are very common and very special of a certain community or in a certain area in India. Similarly, we have the Calicut printing, we have the Machilipattam printing, and these are from the down south. So, each area, the dyers and the printers, they develop their unique style of printing, and that is what we will be talking about in today's lecture, because it is also important to not only continue that tradition, but it is also like preserving our cultural heritage. Now, these are examples of block dyed sample. Now, you will see that the block was prepared. First the fabric was dyed, and after dyeing a darker color of dye paste was made and blocks were immersed in that, and then the dyeing and printing were done one after the other. In the left hand side, the print was used with only one color. On the right hand side, we have the same, the different two blocks, and two different dye pastes have been used, which have been used for printing this material. It was earlier dyed with madder and alum, and then it was printed with yellow dye and brown dye, so that it can give a contrast, and blocks were used for this kind of printing. Traditional block printing. Traditional block printing with natural dyes is a centuries old technique that involves using hand carved wooden blocks to apply natural dyes onto fabric. This method has been practiced in various cultures including India, China and Japan, and continues to be valued for its artistic appeal and eco-friendliness. Here's a step-by-step guide to traditional block printing with natural dyes. Earlier there was no synthetic dyes. So, whatever methods were developed by different communities in different region were all by using natural dyes only. Preparation of fabric. Choose a natural fabric such as cotton, linen or silk for block printing. Ensure that the fabric is clean and pre-washed to remove any sizing or impurities that may interfere with the dye absorption. So, just like what we practice in natural dyeing, here also the fabric has to be clean and every sizing or impurities have to be removed, so that there is better absorption of the dye when it is block printed. Selection of natural dye. We have an array of natural dyes available. Any of the dyes can be chosen. So, dye material could be indigo, turmeric, madder root, pomegranate or any flowers, any other plant based substances to create a color palette. These dyes can be obtained by boiling the dye material in water to extract the pigment. Usually aqueous extract is only used because that is how the traditional method was carried out. Once the extract is made, then preparation of the dye paste. Prepare the natural dye by boiling the dye material in water. Depending on the desired color intensity and shade, the dye bath may need to be adjusted by adding mordant or modifiers such as alum, iron or vinegar. Carving printing blocks. Carve intricate design onto wooden blocks using hand tools. Traditional block printing designs often feature geometric patterns, floral motifs or cultural symbols. The design is carved in relief, leaving raised area that will transfer the dye onto the fabric. So, carving means there will be engraved and raised portions on that wood piece. Printing process. Dip the carved block into the prepared dye paste which contains the dye, which is contained in the dye bath, ensuring the design is evenly coated on the block with the dye. Place the fabric on a flat surface or printing table. Carefully position the dye coated block onto the fabric and apply even pressure with hands or the wooden mallet to transfer the dye. So, this is the pressing also is very unique. It is pressed from one side and then slowly covered on the other side, so that there is even pressure on all the sides where the printing is desired to be done. Repeat the printing process to create the desired pattern, aligning the blocks carefully to maintain continuity. So, one block is pressed, then next to that very carefully the next block is pressed, and that is how by evenly aligning the blocks one after the other, one can do the printing, block printing very efficiently. Drying and fixing the dye. Allow the printed fabric to air dry or use gentle heat to speed up the drying process. Once dry, heat set the dye by ironing the fabric or using steaming method. Now, this kind of curing is a must, otherwise the pigment will not impregnate into the fabric. It will just remain on the surface, and when you wash the fabric it will get washed out. So, the heat or the ironing actually decides that how much of the colorant has gone within the fabric This helps to fix the dye onto the fabric and enhance color fastness. Washing and finishing. After heat setting, wash the printed fabric with mild soap or detergent to remove any excess dye. Hang or flat dry the fabric and iron if necessary. The printed fabric is now ready for use in various textile applications such as clothing, home decor or accessories. So, it is a simple process. Nevertheless, it is a process which should be done very meticulously. It requires only 3 to 4 major steps. First is the cleaning of the surface of the fabric which needs to be printed. Second is the extraction of the dye. Third is the preparation of the dye paste in the dye bath. Fourth is the carving of the block, but now the printers have lot of blocks already available with them. So, every time they do not need to carve the block, they can use the same block again and again, and since the blocks are made up of wood, they do not get worn out. So, after that the block is immersed in the dye paste and transferred very carefully, aligning one design with the other design onto the fabric. Once the entire fabric is covered with block printing, then it is heat set either by ironing or steam, and then it is ready to wash the superficial dye pigment which is attached, which has not impregnated into the fabric, and then it is ready for use. So, it is very simple procedure, but nevertheless this procedure has to be followed word by word. Traditional block printing with natural dyes offer a sustainable and artisanal approach to textile design, resulting in unique handcrafted creations with rich color and intricate patterns. It celebrates cultural heritage while promoting eco-friendly practices in the textile industry. So, it has many aspects. It is beautiful, it is easy, it is doable. At the same time, it is also preserving the cultural heritage and it is promoting eco-friendly practices in printing. Bagru block printing traditionally uses natural dye such as indigo and dabu. A mixture of mud resist dabu and indigo dip dyeing technique along with myrobalan. Different types of block printing, resist printing, batik and natural dyes have been attempted. Most of the traditional methods use natural auxiliaries for better color development. So, this is also another type of printing where it is a block printing, but it uses mud as a resistant dabu, and therefore, it is called Bagru block printing or dabu printing. Bagru printing is called and is said to have started around 450 years ago. It is an ancient art. The villager of Chepa, a traditional community, used this art for printing fabric by hand. These traditional people came from different districts of Rajasthan such as Alwar, Madhopur, Jhunjhuna and permanently settled at Bagru. These people were well known for their distinctively unique design using different natural colorants. The base color of Bagru print is always off-white and the colors used were from natural resources. They had their own way of preparing the dye. So, even their dye preparation and their use of different kind of resist dyeing and printing was very unique. and there was a very small community in Rajasthan staying in Bagru who came from Alwar, Madhavpur and Jhunjhunu district, and this was almost like 450 years ago that they started doing this technique. Traditional process of preparing Bagru print. The traditional process of preparing Bagru print is quite easy, and it looks like the practice and working of printing with natural dyes or elements which contains a critical series of steps as follows. First is initial preparation of the raw cloth by removing different types of dirt, oil, starch present as impurity. So, whether it is dyeing or printing, this step of purifying the surface of the material is common. This is done by washing the cotton fabric with a mixture of soda ash, sesame oil and cow dung. After washing, the cotton cloth is treated with myrobalan, that is harda. The treated fabric is dried in sun. Now, this is for the first time that we are listening that there is a sun drying process. So, it is unique by itself also. Making the dyes or natural colors. The dye stuff are mixed in a printing tray which has fixed size 25 centimeter by 35 centimeter. First, a bamboo frame known as tati is put inside the tray. On top of that, we place a layer of kamali, which is a woolen cloth. The dye solution is prepared by mixing the color into the binder and is then poured into the tray where it gets soaked by the woolen cloth. After these preparation, printing of the fabric starts. So, they have a different style of preparation of the dye bath or dye paste, and it is kept in a squarish or rectangulish tray. In that tray there is bamboo outline, and then there is this woolen cloth kamali, and over that the block is kept. So, that is how they do. Resist printing or dabu printing. A different type of printing technique of resist style is called dabu printing, which is primarily dependent on resist mechanism. So, you cover certain portion and you dye certain portion. So, the resisted portion which is covered gives a pattern. The printing is carried out with specially prepared dabu paste. Then they apply the thick black mud paste on the cloth, and then finally the fabric is dyed. So, it is a mixture of dyeing and printing both, but the result that comes out appears to be like a print. Each family follows its own trick to create a distinctive dabu paste. Now, there again the traditional people, the families of traditional families had this unique style of preparing dabu paste. Each family had its own style. Traditional dabu printing, also known as mud resist printing, is a unique form of block printing that originated in Rajasthan. It involves using a special mud paste as a resist to create intricate pattern on fabric. So, wherever the mud is, the dyeing will not take place, and when the mud is removed after washing, then white and colored regions can be seen. Traditional dabu printing results in beautifully patterned fabrics with a unique texture and depth of color. It celebrates the artistry and heritage of traditional Indian textile techniques while promoting sustainable and eco-friendly practices. Remember that even at that time, of course, there were no hazardous chemicals available to them, but whatever was available to them locally they were using only those material for their printing, whether it is block printing or whether it is Bagru printing or Dabu printing, some kind of resist to create a pattern. Here is an example of resist printing with indigo dye. Now, all the white portions that you see were actually covered very intricately with Dabu paste, and therefore, it remained white, whereas all the other portion was simply dipped in, the entire fabric was dipped in the indigo. Now, because this paste has a good binding capability and does not get washed away in the dye bath of indigo, that resist of white color can be noticed. Had it been washed away, then everything would have been dyed in indigo color and no pattern would have been created. So, there is definitely a unique quality of this Dabu paste which can adhere to the fabric and remain adhered during the dyeing process, and then it is removed in a particular manner and washed away, and that creates this white regions which were covered with Dabu, and the rest of the material is shown as dyed material. Printing process with Dabu. Preparation of fabric remains the same. Choose a natural fabric such as cotton, silk for Dabu printing. Ensure that the fabric is clean and pre-washed to remove any sizing or impurities. Now, this is a step which is mandatory for both dyeing and printing, that there should not be any impurities, and time and again I have been telling this. Preparation of Dabu paste. The Dabu paste is made from a mixture of clay, Arabic gum and other natural ingredients. The clay acts as a resist, preventing the dye from penetrating the fabric in those regions. Mix the clay with water and Arabic gum to create a smooth paste like consistency. Block carve. Carve intricate design onto wooden blocks using hand tools. Traditionally, Dabu printing designs often feature geometric patterns, floral motifs or cultural symbols. The design is carved in relief, leaving raised areas that will transfer the resist paste onto the fabric. Application of Dabu paste. Spread the prepared Dabu paste evenly onto the fabric using a wooden block or brush. Ensure that the paste covers the fabric in a thin uniform layer. Place the fabric in sun to dry. The heat helps the clay in the Dabu paste to adhere to the fabric and create a resist. Printing process. Once the Dabu paste is dry, it is time to apply the dye. Traditional natural dyes like indigo, turmeric or madder are commonly used in Dabu printing. Dip the carved block into the prepared dye bath, ensuring that the design is evenly coated with dye. Carefully position the dye coated block onto the fabric and apply even pressure with hands or wooden mallet to transfer the dye onto the fabric. Repeat the printing process to create a desired pattern, aligning the blocks carefully to maintain continuity. Fixing the dye. Allow the printed fabric to dry air dry. Heat set the dye by ironing the fabric or using steaming method. This helps to fix the dye onto the fabric and enhances color fastness. So, the rest of the block printing method or the Dabu method remains the same, that heat setting is required. The initial step also remains the same, where the fabric has to be cleaned for removing all the impurities. Only the middle portion where the dye paste, the resist and all those things are prepared, these are covered and they are then slightly different in each of these different techniques. Here are some examples of Dabu printed material. Now you see the designs are so intricate. They have all been mordanted with myrobalan, so they give a kind of a off-white base, and on to that there are these different types of patterns which have been created through the Dabu mud clay resist, and then they have been dyed and they have created all these beautiful patterns. Moving on, we now try to learn batik printing. Another example of resist printing using wax is the resist material. Unlike mud, here it is wax, which is used in Bagru or Dabu printing. Traditional printers used natural colorants which could be more than 2 to 3 colors, keeping the base color as white. The color are used in the increasing order of their intensities, protecting the previous color by wax application on the desired spot. And finally, the fabric is washed after boiling water and soap to remove the wax and the unreacted dye. So, the process is somewhat similar with that of the Dabu printing, but it is also little different. Every time the color intensities have to be increased. It cannot be that you first do indigo and then you do yellow and then you do red. It has to be yellow, red, indigo, so that the intensities are taken care of. We have to remember that whichever portion we want to keep yellow, the rest we will just put wax. Then we dip it in yellow. Then we want to now dye in yellow and keep the yellow, and we now want to dye in red. So, then we will cover the yellow and the rest of the portion will be de-waxed and it will be dipped in red. And similarly, then when we finally wash, the yellows will remain as yellow, the reds will remain as red portions in the batik printing design. Another beauty of this is that when the fabric is rinsed and it has wax in it, it gets cracked. So, those beautiful cracks designs are a part of the batik printing. A sample of batik is shown in the next slide. Another method of dyeing and printing is tie and dye, where the motifs are created by tying the fabric and then immersing in dye solution. Next slide shows a tie and dye technique applied on silk fabric as well. Batik is a technique of wax resistance dyeing applied to whole fabric, whole cloth or cloth made using this technique. Batik is made either by drawing dots and lines of the resist with a sprouted tool like a canting, or by printing the resist with a copper stamp called the cap. The applied wax resisted dyes and therefore allow the artisan to color selectively by soaking the cloth in one color. We go from light intensities to dark intensities. That is the only thing that needs to be remembered. Removing the wax from the boiling water and repeating if multiple colored are desired. So, one by one the colors are protected, dyed, then protected, dyed in second color, protected, and that is how it proceeds. Now, here are the two patterns which I mentioned. On the left hand side is the batik dyeing and on the right hand side is the tie and dye. So, you tie the fabric at certain positions, whichever design you wish to prepare, and those tied positions will not take up the dye. So, they will appear as white color. The same is the case in batik dyeing and printing. Here it is a part is dyed, a part is printed, and overall it gives a printed look appearance. So, that is the uniqueness. It shows minor cracks if you see that the designs are not complete, they show cracks in between. Batik printing process. Typical batik printing method, dyeing by dye solution was prepared by adding a quantity of inorganic salt or mordant, that is 5 to 10 grams per liter, to the aqueous solution of natural colorant and kept for 30 minutes at room temperature in order to complete the reaction to form the colored cake. This was followed by the impregnation of wax coated fabric, cotton fabric at room temperature for 5 to 10 minutes, dried and steamed for 30 minutes in a cottage steamer. In another method, cracks were created on the dyed fabric. In this case, application of aqueous solution of natural colorants in sequence of inorganic salts or mordant was done following a pad dry technique. For the above purpose, the impregnation of cotton fabric in solution containing allium cepa, that is onion skin, with aluminum sulphate was performed at nearly 100 degrees wet pickup in 100% wet pickup in a miniature lab model 2-ball padding mangle. The impregnated fabric was dried and subsequently coated with paraffin wax. Sometimes people also use beeswax. This wax coated fabric was then crushed for creating crack effects and again immersed in another solution containing Terminalia cebula and ferrous sulphate for 5 to 10 minutes, followed by drying and steaming. So, drying, steaming remains the same in all these printing methods. Only part is how the print is created, whether it is created with a block, whether it is created with dabu, or whether it is created by wax resist printing is the only difference between these methods. Now, let us try to understand screen printing. Screen printing using natural dyes in India has helped in creating bridge between conventional printing techniques and mass production of textiles in an efficient way. The screen printing on cotton and silk fabric using indigo, madder and sapanwood has resulted in promising color and also can be considered as a recommendable alternative to harmful synthetic dyes. Screen printing using natural dyes in India has helped in creating bridge between conventional printing techniques and mass production of textile in an efficient manner. So, screen printing can be extended for commercial printing very easily. Use of natural dyes such as madder, sapanwood and indigo under optimized temperature, pH and duration for extraction has already been established. The cotton and silk substrates are prepared for screen printing by scouring the fabrics. Screen were developed based on the patterns obtained by conventional shibori dyeing technique. So, there is another term called shibori, it is a Japanese style of printing. Nevertheless, we can create that style of printing by using screen. Traditional screen printing. Traditional screen printing, also known as silk screen printing, is a widely used technique for transferring images onto various materials including fabric, paper, glass and metal. Prepare your design. Create or select the design you want to print onto your chosen material. Designs can be hand drawn, digitally created or even photographic. So, now the screen printing has become very common phenomena. Create the screen. Stretch a fine mesh screen, usually made up of polyester or nylon, over a wooden or aluminum frame, securing it tightly. Traditionally, silk was used for the mesh, hence the name silk screen printing. But modern screens typically use synthetic materials. Apply emulsion. Coat the screen with a light sensitive emulsion. This emulsion is sensitive to UV light and will harden when exposed. Spread the emulsion evenly on both sides of the screen using a scoop coater. Allow it to dry in a dark environment. Expose your design. Place your prepared design onto transparent film or acetate sheet. Lay this film on top of the coated screen and expose it to UV light. The areas of emulsion covered by your design will harden, while the unexposed area will remain water soluble. Wash out the design. After exposure, rinse the screen with water. The unexposed emulsion will wash away, leaving behind a stencil of your design on the screen. Prepare your printing surface. So far you are only preparing the screen. Lay your material flat on a printing surface and secure it in place with tape and weights. Place a piece of cardboard or newspaper underneath to prevent ink from bleeding through. Apply ink. Position the screen over the material, making sure the stencil lines up with your desired print area. Pour a line of ink above the design, then use a squeegee to spread the ink evenly across the screen, pressing firmly to ensure that ink passes through the mesh and transfers onto the material. So, here the preparation of the screen and the usage of the screen for printing are slightly different from the block printing, from the Bagru printing and from the Dabu printing. So, process of screen printing, it is repeated. Lift the screen carefully to reveal your printed design. If you want the print to print the same design multiple times, carefully line up the screen with the previous print and repeat the process. Then the curing of the ink is required. Depending on the type of ink used, you may need to heat set or air dry the print to cure the ink and make it permanent. So, heating or curing is an integral part of printing. Clean up. Clean the screen thoroughly after printing to remove any leftover ink and emulsion. Proper cleaning will prolong the life of your screen and ensure good print quality for future use. Traditional screen printing allows for vibrant colors, precise detail and durability, making it a popular choice for various printing applications. With practice and experimentation, you can achieve professional quality results on a wide range of material. Screen printing with natural dyes. The trials were taken under the screen printing with Butamonosperma flower, that is Tesu flower extract, using natural thickener, that is cassia seed gum and mango kernel gum, with two mordants, and the two mordants were used were copper sulphate and ferrous sulphate, and they were selected for the experiment. And then the color fastness and the C lab values were evaluated. Results of screen printing with both these mordants exhibited very good results, excellent results for fasting rating for light, washing, rubbing and perspiration. The results revealed that silk fabric can be successfully screen printed with natural dyes and natural thickeners. So, here is an example where screen printing, you see there is a rectangular screen that the men are traversing with, and they are putting it on the fabric, and that is how the screen printing is done. Some traditional examples of traditional printing with natural dyes: block printing, and here is on the left hand side blocks which are only with one color. On the right hand side, the blocks that have been used, 2 and more colors have been used for printing. Traditional method of printing are sustainable. All the traditional printing methods that we learned today use mostly natural dyes and natural auxiliaries, thereby making the printing process sustainable. Remember that these methods were developed long back, and that time there were no hazardous chemicals. So, everything that was used was from the nature. Although there was a time when printers switched to synthetic colorants due to high demand of printed fabric, but again they have returned to the use of natural colorants in the wake of the environmental concern. Environmental impact assessment of the effluents generated from traditional printing show that the chemical oxygen demand COD should be from 0 to 200 milligram per liter, and total suspended solids should be in the range of 25 to 250 milligram per liter, indicated that the wastewater generated is safe to discharge to the environment without major treatment. Kalamkari is a type of hand painted. It is down south in Andhra Pradesh practiced. Kalamkari is a type of hand painted or block printed cotton textile produced in the parts of Andhra Pradesh. There are two distinctive styles of Kalamkari art in India. The Sri Kalahasti style, wherein the kalam or pen is used for free hand drawing of the subject and filling the colors into it, is entirely hand worked. The Machilipattam style uses blocks. Dyes of the cloth are obtained by extracting colors from various root, leaves and minerals of iron, tin, copper and alum. Various effects are obtained by using cow dung, seeds, plants and crushed flowers to obtain natural dye. Along with buffalo milk, myrobalan is used in kalamkari. Myrobalan is also able to remove the odd smell of the buffalo milk. The fixing agent available is the myrobalan can easily fix the dye on cloth of the textile while treating the fabric. Alum is used in making natural dyes and also treating the fabric, which has good color fastness. Alum ensures the stability of color in kalamkari fabric. Bagh printing, an indigenous printing technique from Bagh district of Madhya Pradesh. It essentially refers to a technique of block printing by hand where the colors used are absolutely natural. The process includes the use of geometric designs and bright colors, and the chemical properties of the river are used to the maximum benefit to obtain most of the unique shades. Now, the river has certain minerals which is made use of. For cotton, silk, chiffon or bamboo chicks, these processes can be carried out on a variety of fabric. The fabric after removal of starch is made to undergo what is called the bhatti process, which includes boiling, drying and subsequently printing. So, bark printing is another very unique of printing in India, the traditional. Ajrak, a particular kind of block printed shawl, will be from the western states of India, where they display designs made using block printing by stamps. Wood block printing gives rise to very geometric shapes and patterns. Vegetable dyes and other natural dyes are used for the process of ajrak printing and dyeing. This is also for restoring the cultural heritage, because it is a symbol of that area in Rajasthan. Sanganeri print. Sanganeri print is a kind of a block printing that originated in Rajasthan, adorns home decor materials as well as apparels. This involves laying out of the material on table and then printing using blocks with intricate designs. The fabric is marked before so that the symmetry of design is maintained. Beautiful floral designs with buds, flowers, leaves, mangoes and even jhumkas sometimes are a part of the detailed design on the block. Benefits of screen printing, we all know it is environmentally friendly, non-toxic, low impact on health, because when we are using natural dyes, all these attributes come along with it. Needless to say that natural dyes, since they are derived from plant, animal and minerals, are biodegradable and eco-friendly. They are considered to be non-toxic and safe both for the environment and the people who are using or are involved in printing processes. It has a low impact on the health. Since natural dyes are already been established as safe dyes, they do not use any harsh chemical or heavy metals. Benefits of natural dyes, they have unique aesthetic appeal in the printing process. Cultural and historical significance is maintained through these, because when we practice traditional printing methods, we are taking forward the cultural heritage of those areas. Customization and creativity, because any and every design depending on the artist's imagination can be created and used for traditional printing. These dyes are biodegradable, so they are safe, and therefore, it is actually promoting sustainable agriculture. Support for sustainable agriculture. Some natural dyes sources such as certain plant species can be cultivated sustainably, and a good example is indigo, providing additional income opportunities for farmers practicing eco-friendly agriculture. Overall, if I have to sum up, I will say screen printing with natural dyes offers a sustainable and aesthetically pleasing alternative to conventional printing methods, aligning with the growing demand of eco-friendly and ethically produced textile, and at the same time we are also restoring our cultural heritage and traditional designs which are very, very indigenous to India. With this, we have come to an end of this lecture. Thank you.